The genesis of our transition to a genuine house unfolded when my spouse and I, anticipating the arrival of twins, resolved to vacate our apartment. Extensive perusal of residences within our city led us to discover an ideal abode. Approximately 4 months elapsed before we commenced the relocation process, acquiring new furnishings for our newfound dwelling. A stroke of good fortune awaited us as the house boasted an antiquated fireplace, sparing us the need for additional expenditure. 2 months following our settlement, the twins graced our lives. Endowed with their own room and an array of toys, they curiously opted to share our bed. However, as the twins reached the age of 3, an eerie turn of events commenced. During one evening, while my wife strolled with the twins, the plaintive cries of toddlers, approximately 3 in number, assailed my ears. Knowing the children weren't in the house, I traced the sound to the kids' bedroom. The crying ceased upon my entrance, unsettling me profoundly. My rationalization attributed it to an accidental activation of baby dolls. Attempting to regain composure, I sat down, but tranquility eluded me. The voices of 4 toddlers imploring "Dad, come back," emanated from the kids' room once more. With trepidation, I peered into the room, discovering 6 toddlers clad in antiquated baby attire seated in a circle, chanting in unison. Disturbed, I summoned the police, who, upon investigation, found no trace of the eerie apparition. Astonishingly, the toddlers reappeared, crooning a chilling rendition of "Check" under the porch. Intrigued, I investigated the porch, but found nothing. The possibility of my sanity unraveling haunted me, yet the persistent reference to the porch intrigued me. A sudden epiphany struck. What if I were to dig beneath the porch? One silent night, alone while my family slept, I ventured to the porch, excavating beneath the surface. Approximately 50 centimeters down, I unearthed the source of their eerie directive: 6 charred sets of antiquated baby clothes. The revelation remained undisclosed to my wife and children, who revelled in the charm of our house. The spectral toddlers made sporadic appearances when I was alone, prompting an uneasy acceptance of their eerie presence. The clock struck midnight as I navigated the cold, rain-soaked roads in my car, the low gas gauge signaling an impending crisis. A quick glance at Google Maps revealed a stark reality: no gas station in sight, but salvation lay in a motel just 2 minutes away. Braving the dwindling gas, I reached the motel, its exterior failing to inspire confidence. Yet, with hope for a cozy interior, I stepped inside, greeted by a wary receptionist in his 50s. A peculiar sensation accompanied my time in the room, as if an unseen observer lingered. Paranoia clawed at me, but I brushed it aside. Inquiring about a room, the tired receptionist declared a steep price of $90 per night. Reluctantly, with no alternative in sight, I parted with the sum and received the key to my temporary haven. Upon entering, I found the door ajar, a small oversight by the owner. Surprisingly, the room exceeded expectations save for the absence of a TV, a dubious trade-off for the hefty price tag. Determined to make the best of it, I decided to indulge in some YouTube entertainment. After changing into spare clothes, I settled into bed, headphones on, immersing myself in a playlist of scary content. As the night unfolded, I found myself captivated by horror stories, scary games, and ghostly encounters. Halfway through a particularly spine-chilling video, an unsettling development emerged. The audio of labored initially dismissing it as part of the video, I continued watching, only to glance at the clock and discover the unearthly hour of 2 a.m. Deciding to call it a night, I paused the video and removed my headphones, but then it dawned on me. The breathing persisted, and it wasn't a mere playback glitch. The mysterious source of the sound became an enigma, leaving me on edge as I ventured into the unknown realm of the night. In my 12th year of existence, peculiar visions began to manifest, an array of apparitions and objects. Oddly, these occurrences, while surreal, failed to perturb me, appearing infrequently. The genesis of this enigmatic experience transpired when I reached the age of 16, the night maneuvering my bicycle down a precipitous road after school. I encountered a sharp turn at the road's terminus, flanked by a substantial abyss, approximately 12 feet in depth. At that critical juncture, an anomalous entity materialized before me, its proportions akin to an average 10-12-year-old child. Oddly unfazed, I dismissed it as another eccentric hallucination, my mind preoccupied with the haste of the moment. Subsequently, I reached the sanctity of my abode, seemingly unscathed by the encounter. The following day unfolded with an illusion of normalcy. However, the tranquility soon succumbed to chaos. Authorities arrived at our residence inquiring about a missing child from our neighborhood. The offspring of our neighbor. Curiously, I found myself possessing an innate understanding of the unfolding events. To validate the veracity of this unsettling knowledge, I ventured outside only to be confronted with a sight that induced profound shock. The magnitude of the discovery elicited a physical reaction, causing me to retch violently, followed by the onset of a debilitating fever that confined me to my domicile. What continues to haunt my consciousness is the recollection of the child, who habitually greeted me with unfailing regularity. On that fateful day, he stood silently, watching me pass by. The aftermath of this macabre incident invaded my dreams, with the spectral presence of the child persisting, his countenance frozen in an expressionless visage. I'll kick off this tale by admitting I wasn't a believer in anything supernatural before that fateful night. However, after you hear what transpired, even I, the skeptic, couldn't deny a newfound belief in the unexplained. Working late at the office during the Christmas rush, I found myself entrusted with the last-minute orders, being the only one without familial obligations. Grumbling aside, the silver lining was the extra cash for relatively minimal. My goal was to finish quickly, heading home to revel in more leisure time with my feline companions. Yet, the universe seemed intent on thwarting my plans. The weather repeatedly plunged the office into darkness, forcing me to restart my computer every 15 minutes. Inevitably, the power failed once again, prompting a reluctant exploration of the deserted office. Everyone had left hours ago for holiday festivities. Intrigued, I wandered into the boss's office, an expansive room with a vast window offering a panoramic view. Gazing out, I spotted a shadowy figure on the sidewalk by the bus stop bench. Bathed in minimal light, they remained enigmatic. My assumption leaned toward a homeless individual, considering the absence of buses at this late hour. Fixated on this mysterious presence for minutes, I discerned an unsettling development. The figure, motionless until then, began advancing towards the building. Startled, I retreated to my office, grabbed my belongings, and dashed toward the elevator. To my dismay, the elevator was already ascending. A queasy feeling settled in. Someone unexpected could be on their way up. Wasn't I supposed to be the lone occupant at this hour? The elevator approached, and as the doors opened on my floor, my heart sank. Empty. How could that be when someone had pressed the button to reach my floor? Descending to the ground floor, I scanned for the figure, but they had vanished. I ventured to the spot where I first noticed them, only to sense a palpable change in temperature beneath the light near the bench. As I looked up to my office window, I encountered the inexplicable, a dark figure gazing down at me. Astonished, I grappled with the mystery of their arrival. No one else should have been in the office that night, yet the figure remained, unmoving, determined to unravel this enigma. I sprinted to the elevator, waiting for it impatiently. Upon its arrival, I realized I had dropped my keycard. As I stepped out to retrieve it, the elevator ascended without me. Not wanting to waste time, I opted for the stairs. Returning to my floor, the boss's office was deserted, yet the temperature variance persisted. Peering down to the street, there stood the figure once more beneath the light by the bench. Confounded, I questioned my own perception. How did I miss this person passing by? Was it even a person? The streetlight flickered and extinguished, and when it reignited, the figure vanished. That was my breaking point. I gathered my belongings and left the office for the night. Upon reaching home, an eerie presence hung in the air. Attempting to approach the door, I felt an icy chill upon the handle. Struggling to open it, I realized the room had a mind of its own, creaking open slowly. On the other side stood the elusive figure, shrouded in shadow, their features indecipherable. A step closer, a reaching hand, and then they vanished. In an instant, all the lights in my house blazed back to life. I can't rationalize what occurred, whether a byproduct of my sleep-deprived, overworked mind or something more ethereal. All I can affirm is that it left me thoroughly unnerved.